Have you ever wondered what it costs for a parking stall in a condo here in Honolulu? This is David Buck with Harcourts Island Real Estate, and today we're going to talk about what it costs to get a parking stall if one isn't included with your unit. Now, I get that question asked often when I'm working with buyers and sellers here in Honolulu because, you know, it's hard to factor that in, especially when you're looking at comps or comparable units, because sometimes you can have a unit in the same building that comes with a parking stall and another one that does not. Or sometimes you could have one that includes 2 stalls and another might include 1 stall. And there's a reason why we're down here in Waikiki today, and we're gonna get to that at the end. You definitely wanna stick around for this because I've got a story that no one else can believe. So first off, Waikiki is gonna be a highly sought after area to get a parking stall. So, and other parts of town like Kakaako and downtown Honolulu. And every now and then you'll see parking stalls available for sale in MLS. But traditionally what happens is you could only sell it to someone that already owns within the building. And let me take a step backwards. When it comes to parking in condos, every building is gonna have different rules. Sometimes there are assigned stalls, sometimes they're kind of allocated one. Like one instance of that would be the Colony Surf near Diamond Head. And then what I've got behind me here is the former Trump Tower Waikiki. They're going through some renovations now. It's now called Kalia. And in that particular building, they don't come with parking, quote unquote. However, like you know, you can rent parking per day, that sort of thing. So every building is gonna be different. But to get an idea of what, you know, a parking stall will go for on average, it's once again going to vary on the building, and it's just like traditional real estate, it's going to be supply and demand. But what I did is over the past year, I scoured MLS to give you an idea. This is just a summary of what parking stalls have been selling for. Okay, this is just a summary of what took place in MLS over the past year. There was not a whole lot of sales volume when it comes to condos, but on the lower end, there were a few trades that happened for $25,000, $26,000 in Salt Lake. And then in Kakaako and Nauru Tower saw a few parking stalls sell for $30,000. And then there was another one in Waikiki at Aloha Lani that went for $35,000. And then another at Moana Pacific for $45,000. And then Hale Kalai and Hawaii Kai, we saw a trade for $50,000, which is kind of interesting because Hawaii Kai in general, there's not normally a lack of parking. So that one surprised me a little bit to have a $50,000 parking stall sell in Hawaii Kai. Once again, we're down near Fort Jerusei in the heart of Waikiki. And the reason I chose this location because it's a highly sought after area. We talked earlier about Kalai, or the former Trump Tower Waikiki. They are undergoing a renovation. Units there over the years, it's traditionally been a buyer's market. It still is today. However, I do have a prediction. If you want to get in on a unit there, I did a report recently where you can buy condos now at the former Trump Tower Waikiki for less than you could like 15 years ago from the developer pricing. So I'll post a link to that here. But directly behind me here, I've got this great story to tell here of a success story for my client. So right across the street from the former Trump Tower, Kalai, you have a little boutique condo building called the Waikiki Shore. Not many people are aware of this building, but this is the only direct oceanfront, on top of that sandy beachfront condominium building in Waikiki. The catch with this place, they're fee simple condos, they're legal vacation rentals. I love this building, and it's a great location. Like I said, you've got a 70-acre park here at Fort Jerusei on one side of you. But the reason I bring this building up when we're talking about parking stalls, I had a client I sold the unit for just in this back corner of the building years back. He did have a parking stall, but guess what? He sold the parking stall separately to another owner in the building for $250,000. Yes, you heard that right, $250,000 for a parking stall. So as I started this out talking about what a parking stall can go for in Honolulu, well, that's the highest end of the spectrum I've seen. So in summary, if you're curious what a parking stall goes for here in Honolulu, in general, it's gonna start at about $25,000 and it could go up from there. So if you have a specific requirement when you're looking for a condo and need a minimum amount of parking stalls, that's always something you wanna factor in because once again, condos here don't always come with parking. And to learn more about real estate here in Honolulu, my name is David Buck and I can be reached at 808-371-3509. Mahalo and have a great day.